Welcome to making a decision using the p-value method. When we test the null hypothesis, the initial conclusion will always be one of the following. We'll either reject the null hypothesis or fail to reject the null hypothesis. So, our rejection criteria. We're going to reject the null if our p-value is less than or equal to 0.05. Remember, 5%, less than 5% is considered unusual. So that's why we're going to say less than or equal to 5%. So we'll reject the null hypothesis when the sample stats from the sampling distribution is unusual. Unusual events are those with a probability of 5% or less. By setting the level of significance at a small value, you are saying you want the probability of rejecting the true null hypothesis to be very small. Common significance levels are 0.10 or 10%, alpha equals 0.05, 5%, or alpha equals 0.01, 1%. So using the p-value method, we are going to test our p-value against our significance level. If the p-value is less than or equal to our significance level, then we reject the null hypothesis. So for example, if our p-value is equal to 0.0234, if we're using our significance level of 0.05, that is truly less than, so that means we would reject the null hypothesis h sub 0. If our p-value was, for example, 0.1234, our p-value of 1234 is not less than or equal to, it's actually greater than our significance level of 0.05. And let me make that a little clearer. So 0.1234 is greater than 0.05, so this is where we would fail to reject the null hypothesis. So with the p-value method, you're rejecting the null hypothesis if our p-value is less than or equal to our significance level. It's often 0.05.